We're mobile. Take Fox Sports 1350 with you using iHeartRadio.
KTDD Riverside, San Bernardino. Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
This is Ryan Kelly with the LA Lakers. And this is the IE Sportsnet.
Yes, we are live. It is IE Sportsnet right here, live on Fox Sports Radio, connected by Boost Mobile, Fox Sports Radio 1350. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops right here. You seem a little nervous. You know, when the lights come on, I am ready to rock and roll, Eternal.
No. You was running late. We was about to run. This train was about to get this thing rolling. And he got the LB going already, so... Big Saturday.
I can tell you how I feel about IE Sports. Night and day.
Night and day. But you put the net on there, too, because, you know, we got the IE Sports net for the
there
folks
you go.
out there
yes.
listening in the world.
People have got to know there is a net at the end of IE.
Right, indeed. So I just want to make sure we let everybody know a great Saturday morning to all our folks out in a great Inland Empire. It's a Saturday. We're the first voice that you hear after a great night of Friday Night Lights. Coach B, it was the
second season has begun.
Yeah, the games last night did not disappoint. I was on my phone all night, just like
I was on IESportsNet.com.
Indeed, well that's what I'm saying.
All night.
There it is, right there. So you can get real time scores. I mean, you know, as Coach B said, you can log on to IESportsNet.com on your laptop. You can do it on your phone. We have, you know, when you log on to our website, especially on Friday nights, Coach B, you're able to get live scores right there. I was driving past the Rancho Verde game last night, so I saw they put up some serious numbers on Oak Hills last night.
Put a whooping on them.
Yeah, but again, Coach B, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, last night was huge.
Last night was a big night, you know, and when you look at what Max Prep has voted as the toughest division, not in the Inland Empire, not in the state of California, not in the West area. They have voted the Division I as the number one division in the entire country. Let that sink in. Wow. Division I, they have voted as the toughest playoff bracket in the entire country. And last night, you know, if they're the toughest division in the country, there shouldn't be a blowout. Am I correct?
Exactly.
Rancho Cucamonga. Those boys from Orange County, Orange Lutheran, when they came out, they didn't show them any Inland Empire hospitality.
No.
They put a whooping on them 27-7. But you know what their prize is going to be? Next week they get to play the number 4 team in the nation, Mission Viejo.
Yeah, and you know.
What a prize.
Exactly. And your consolation prize is.
Yes. Yes.
But, you know, what I was impressed by was the fact that Rancho Cucamonga came out there and showed up the way they did.
This is their year.
There's a lot of talk, Coach B, about, hey, can Rancho Cucamonga, can they handle this kind of, you know, that kind of thing? Because it's his first year, they're going to be having that kind of competition where Orange Lutheran, traditionally, Coach B, really tough school. I mean, you know, I've seen them face Centennial a couple
one of the
times.
Pac-5 schools, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they've given Centennial a run. We talked about that when JJ was there.
Exactly.
And they gave them a run.
They played them in the Honor Bowl, you know, I think twice, if I'm not mistaken. And I've seen both games. And, they got studs out. The private school, obviously.
Yes.
So,
Pac-5 private school. One thing that I like, I know we'll dig into the scores,
Indeed.
but 4 teams from the Inland Empire played in that Division I. 3 of them will play on.
Exactly. And I know Upland was one of the teams that fell short of a really tough St. John Bosco team. And I know we're going to get into that. So, I mean, Coach B, what do you want to do? You want to hop right into these scores, or how you want to do it?
Let's give the people what they want. We got to give the people, like Jalen Rose would say.
Because we say.
Like Jalen Rose would say, got to give the people what they want.
What they want. Just because we give the people what they want.
Actually, that's the OJs.
Exactly.
But, you know.
I was just about to say, that's the OJs.
In case people don't know. Yeah. But Vince the Marietta,
yes. Friends
of the show.
Yes.
You know, we've been around 4 years, and we're pretty excited. We've been around 4 years, and Vista Marietta, they showed up. The last night they played against Bishop Amat, another private school that has been really, really tough. The one thing about it, when you look at the Division I, it is loaded with private schools. So I'm excited. Centennial, J. Sarah Catholic, they had no problems with sending the Catholics home with a bad feeling. So
which traditionally get you in trouble.
Right. They sent them home with a win of 55-24. Next, they got Chaminade. Centennial's ranked third in state. Vista Marietta, Bishop Amat, they defeated them. Do you know what Vista Marietta Consolation Prize will be?
Do tell.
Next week, they play the number one team, not in Orange County, not in Southern California, the number one team in the nation. They get Modern Day next week.
Are they number one in the nation or in the state?
In the nation.
Modern Day is number one in the nation?
You know what? I think you might be right. They might be. I'm sorry. They're number one in the state. I'm sorry. Because IMG and
I was about to say the other guys.
I think Bishop. You're right. Yes. They're number one in state.
It's all good.
Corrections and retractions.
But you know what? You said that with good reason, because when you're number one, traditionally, especially lately, you're number one in California. Generally speaking, you're competitive in the country. So, at least for the last 2 or 3 years.
And you know what's funny is my son. He's over at freshman football team at Awan, and now he's really getting into the Max Prep, and he's looking at it. And he said, Dad, Rancho Cucamonga is ranked number 20 in the nation, but they're only 6 in state. I said, well, that tells you.
Yeah.
There's 3 states, and I tell them there's 3 states that studs come from. I mean, kids can come from anywhere.
Right.
California,
Florida,
and Texas.
Yep.
If you're a stud in one of those states.
Yeah, you can kind of name your ticket. And,
exactly.
So I know we have, but again, we're talking about Division I and the CIF playoffs. Last night, huge night, as we mentioned, Rancho Cucamonga defeated Orange Lutheran 27-7. Vista Marietta Vista Marietta beat Bishop Amat 38-24. Upland, however, fell to St. John Bosco convincingly 47-20. And as we said, Centennial just on a roll, man.
Yes.
55-24 over J. Sarah Catholic. And now they're going to be taking on Chaminade now. So.
Yes. And then one thing is, speaking of that Rancho Cucamonga game, I think that this is only fitting. We have the reporter that was there that covered the game, and she witnessed, and I read her column this morning, and she's the one who said it, that this is Division I. You would not expect a blowout. So We're joined on the Boost Mobile, where you at, Celebrity Hotline, but Southern California newspaper group sports writer Michelle Gardner on IE Sportsnet, Fox Sports 1350 with Coach B and Eternal. Miss Gardner, how are you this morning?
I'm dandy, gentlemen. How are you?
Fantastic, Michelle. Fantastic. Thank you so much for getting up nice and early. I know you were burning the midnight oil last night, taking care of business.
You know what? Before you jump into that, I want to ask, Michelle Gardner's from Florida, right?
I am.
So who has better high school football? And, I mean, you can say California. Is it California or Florida?
You know what? It's close. I think it's comparable. I think the top teams in California are comparable to the top teams in Florida. And, in fact, one of the schools that I covered in Florida a lot, St. Thomas Aquinas, they've been in the top 5, 10 in the national rankings the last several years. So it's comparable. It's very much the same.
How about those IMG Academy kids?
You know what? I didn't cover that school when I was down there at all, because that was...
They're fairly new, right?
No, I think it was called, that was the old Voluntary Academy where all the tennis kids used to go. And that school kind of has changed, and it's a little bit different now since when I was there. But yeah, that's quite the academy.
It's a college now, because my son is doing all his research. It's a boarding school,
yeah.
So those kids live there.
Oh
yeah, they live there. I saw that.
We talked about Montverde Academy when they played Chino Hills in basketball, and they bring in students from all over the country and some out of the country. Well, IMG Academy is very much the same.
Wow.
Yes, indeed. So, Michelle, I know you you wrote this morning in the Daily Bulletin article, and folks can go out there and grab it. We obviously encourage you to do that. But Division I just ranked toughest playoff division, in the nation. Obviously, when you think about that, there should be no blowout. But however, there was a blowout last night, 27-7, with Rancho Cucamonga winning over Orange Lutheran. I guess Rancho Cucamonga didn't get the memo.
Right?
Yeah, you know what? That game was closer than that. I wouldn't call 27-7 a blowout. The game was 22-7 most of the fourth quarter.
Got it.
And then Rancho kind of got the late score, but it was 20-7. And Orange Lutheran had a couple different possessions midway through the fourth where if they score there, now it's 20-14, and you're looking at maybe a missed extra point making the difference. So 27-7 is not really a blowout.
Right.
It was kind of the game you'd expect for a first round, where it was competitive, it was tight, some big plays either way. So, yeah, 27-7, it wasn't a blowout by any means.
Got it. And now Oregon commit Jalen Red.
Red, not Reed.
I just want to know. Trust me. I remember Michelle correct you.
She told us.
Yeah, she let us know. Jalen Red. He didn't have the typical night that Jalen Red he's normally having. However, he did have a 49-yard run to give the Rancho Cucamonga Cougars their final score of the night. Finished, the night with 95 yards rushing. Is this going to be a concern going into the playoffs, or was it just one of those games where it's very competitive?
I'm not worried about that at all. You just have games like that, and again, you got to look at this. It's Division I.
Right.
You can't expect him to have 200 yards every game, especially when it's the playoffs and it's Division I.
Right.
So, not worried at all. It happens. Orange Lutheran's a very good team. They were better than I thought they were going to be. You look at a 5-5 team and you think, okay, they're 500. But again, look at the league they come out of.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm not worried about Jalen. He is fine. It was just one of those games, and the other team played very good defense. So those games are going to happen. I talked to him on the sideline, kind of a few seconds after he busted that long run, and I kind of said to him, "Hey, it's about time. I was waiting for that." And he just laughed and he said, "Hey, it's all good,
Yep.
So everything's fine, but you're going to have games like that.
Oh yeah,
indeed. So we're once again we're joined on the Boost Mobile Where You At Celebrity Hotline by Southern California News Group sports writer Michelle Gardner on IE Sportsnet, Fox Sports 1350 with Coach B and Eternal. Now, Michelle, you wrote that Rancho Cucamonga coach Nick Baez tried to drill into his players' heads that they were the underdogs, despite coming into this game unbeaten and winning the baseline league. Did Rancho believe they were the underdogs? I mean, Orange Lutheran, like we said, they were only 5-6. I know they're in a tough league, but they were only 5-6 this year.
I asked the guys that, and they just kind of had a smirk on their face when I said, "Well, what did you guys think? Did you guys really believe that?" And they kind of had a smirk on their face. Just kind of, it was kind of like a wink, wink, nod, nod type of thing. I think they knew better, but I think they also, this team's been very good about grasping the bigger picture, not looking too far ahead. And I always hate the coach speak where they say, "Well, one game at a time." I hate it when coaches say that. But Baez has been very good about keeping his team level-headed. And I think these guys, most of them are seniors. They get the big picture. They know this is Division I. They've seen the quality of teams out there. And I think they've done a very good job of keeping things in perspective, not getting too high with the highs and not getting too lows with the lows. Well, not that there's been very many lows this year, but you know what I mean.
Right. And you touched on it. Even with the final score being 27-7, the game wasn't really decided until the fourth quarter, and Orange Lutheran was stopped on a 4th and goal from Rancho's 7. How? Let's talk about Rancho's defense. They to only give up 7 points, they really showed up, and this is Division I.
Their defense was incredible. And I'll tell you, a kid that I am so impressed with, and I'm going to have to talk to Nick more about him and find out where the heck he came from, is this Sam Malupo. He's 5'10", 170 pounds. He's a kind of a Troy Polamalu lookalike. He's got the long flowing hair, and he's a Tongan kid. But I don't remember this kid at all from last year. And I said to somebody in the press box, I said, "Where was this kid last year?" Because he's a senior. And they said he was on the JV.
Wow.
So he played on the JV as a junior, and the kid is all over the place. He's really been a find. I think when you get a kid that's a junior on the JV, and all of a sudden he steps up, and he's a stud on the varsity, I'm gonna have to write more about him, because I have been very, very, very impressed with his play this year. I think when you get a team that's 11-0 and it's done what Rancho has done, there are going to be those guys that really stepped up their game during the off season or took advantage of the chance given, when finally getting playing time. So that kid has been very amazing to me, to be undersized, plays hard, plays tough, kind of with no fear.
And it's kind of like you said, Rancho is, they're loaded, because you said Rancho is one of those teams that they've been knocking on the door for years, and they've always been good. And just to see a kid like that come up from JV at Rancho, it shows you how deep they are. Like we talked before, early in the year, they have a 6'2" freshman quarterback. That team is so deep.
They are. And I don't think they're going to drop off a whole lot next year. Obviously, they lose a lot of very good players, but I just think Rancho's turning into a football factory,
mm-hmm.
and I
in the baseline league.
Yeah, I really like what they've got going there, and there are some young kids on this team that I really, really like.
Yes, and again, we have Miss Michelle Gardner on. No, it was a tough night for some other teams here in the Inland Valley. Obviously, Damon, Cajon losing. Damon, we saw Damon.
To Downey. I am a Downey Viking, so
I don't know if you heard the crickets. I think Inland Empire doesn't really go down.
Yes. So I was excited to see my Downey. I'm sorry about Damian lost, but I was happy to see my Downey Viking.
Coach B is slants toward Downey.
The biggest homer ever.
Yeah, which is good, and that's all good. But at any rate, Damon, Cajon losing, and however, Etowanda, who we saw last night. I'm flipping the channels. Etowanda's on Channel 7. They were just on Channel 4 again.
Yes, Rogan's Heroes.
Really getting some press time. They didn't get a picture of me and Coach B in the breast box, but hey, it's okay.
Yes.
But at any rate, Etowanda winning, and tell us about the contrast in this. You have Damon Cajon losing, and you have Etowanda winning. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, here's the difference, gentlemen, and you guys were witness to that miraculous comeback last week. I'm still trying to figure out how the heck somebody scores 30 points in like 4 minutes.
It was 5 minutes and 3 seconds to go when Tommy came into the game. It was 16-42.
And I want to make sure we say this because we have to make sure we address. Because I want to because you understand this, Ms. Gardner. We actually saw the Damon defensive coaches leave the building.
They was next to us in the press box.
They were right to our immediate left, and with 5 minutes left to go in the game, they packed their stuff up and they got out of there.
What?
They left. Oh, yes.
Yes.
And so if you look at this game, you can tell that there were some huge mistakes that took place.
Never went in prevent defense.
They never adjusted the defense at all. Obviously, some things you would have seen from the top. But, yeah, give us your thoughts about that.
Well, here's the thing. How big was that game now?
Exactly.
Because flip that. If Damien wins that game, Damien's playing Valencia and Etowanda's playing Downey.
Right.
So
okay,
now I wish they would have lost that.
I imagine. So that was the difference that game made.
Yep.
I think that it's directly opposite if that game comes out the other way.
Right.
I would have to agree.
I agree. And, I mean, it was an amazing game. And, one team that we talked a lot about in the preseason as well, and a team that we thought I don't know if we should have expected more from them, but Ontario Colony, they defeated Palm Springs 22-13, which is good. But this was an up-and-down year for Colony. I mean, they got Nate Tilfer from Upland. They lost, and we talked about this, they lost to Don Lugo this season. I mean, no one expected that. No one saw that coming. What are the expectations for Colony going forward?
You know what? I think they were a very, very young team, and I think they played a little bit young in certain games. And I think when a team's been as good and dominated that league as much as Colony has, you kind of take it for granted. Maybe they took it for granted a little bit too. So I think that losing the league kind of lit a fire under them. And I think they refocused and they were able to come back and they kind of regrouped here late in the season. But I like Colony a lot, but again, you're talking a sophomore quarterback. They were young in a lot of other positions. Their defense has given up a lot of points. I think they were really, really young on defense, and they've been exposed on defense, in several games this year. So I think that kind of was that problem. I think they kind of regrouped. They get Corona Del Mar moving forward, and I think that's going to be a very, very tough game. But I just think Colony, and they also fell into a rut and fell at a time when Don Lugo was kind of on the rise, and Don Lugo's come out of nowhere.
Right.
And again, another thing, if you look at how good Rancho has been going back to Rancho, Don Lugo is my number one team in the area.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'm sorry. Rancho's my number one team in the area. Don Lugo's number two.
Number two, okay.
And Rancho beat Don Lugo by like 40.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so if that tells you the gap between number one and number two this year.
Yeah.
But I like Don Lugo a lot moving forward, too, and I think that they got Colony on a good year when Colony's a little bit down, and they're doing very, very well.
And now, final question here, because I want to make sure you get some rest after a real big night of football. Rancho Cucamonga, they walk in, and now that after beating Orange Lutheran, no days off. They've just come from the baseline league where every game is tough. What are your thoughts about that Mission Viejo game?
I think it's going to be a tough game, but I actually like Rancho's draw. I mean, if you can get through the first two rounds and not see Centennial or Bosco or Mater Dei, Modern Day, by the way, is third in the country, gentlemen. They're not ranked number one in the country.
Right. It was one in state.
So.
It was one in state.
One in state, third in country. You know,
Yes.
Coach B, he got a little excited this morning. He had a lot of coffee.
Yes.
There you go. But yeah, I think that I actually kind of just lost my train of thought here.
No, we were talking. I was asking you about the Rancho.
Day.
Rancho.
Moving forward,
Vista.
Michigan, they've got a pretty good draw considering that they don't have to play one of those big three in the first couple games.
Right.
So I like their chances. They are going to be on the road. But I like Rancho's draw, and I said before the year started, because a lot of coaches were skeptic and saying, Rancho's Division I. Now let's see how they do in the playoffs.
Right.
And I said, I think they can do very well and win a couple of rounds. Okay, so a couple of rounds would be this week and next week.
Yep.
After that, yes, it's tough, but we'll see what happens. And I like this team a lot, but again, I think if they could get through 2 rounds, I think that would be a very, very successful season.
And then, one thing we got to know, and it's that time of year, Ms. Gardner. We sent you we want to pick your brain, shot you an email. We got to pick the coach for the Inland Valley Football Classic. We've picked the Eastern coach.
For Ukaipa.
He's going to be the Ukaipa coach. And then for the Western side, we're looking at, and we're going to lean on you, Don Lugo, Chino Hills, or I think it was another school that we had also thought about. Colony.
Yeah, Colony. So there's a couple of coaches. Obviously, we're not going to press you to say it on air.
Yes.
Okay.
But we definitely wanted to pick your brain about it because, again, Miss Michelle Gardner.
That Inland Valley is yours.
Yeah, Daily Bulletin is just, you've been doing a fantastic job of covering not only just football, but volleyball and all the sports that are, you're just really into the season of sports. We certainly, we love your coverage and keep up the good work.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Is that the Beagle?
The Beagle's yelling in the background. I think he heard something outside.
The Beagle's like, hey, I need my shine too.
Exactly. What is the Beagle's name?
The Beagle's name is Max.
There you go. There you go.
Ms. Gardner, we always appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We were joined on the Boost Mobile Where You At Celebrity Hotline by Southern California News Group sports writer Michelle Gardner on IE Sportsnet, Fox Sports 1350 with Coach B and Eternal. The show continues to roll on. I'm pretty excited about this. This is our 3rd year. Real friend of the show. We just saw him at the 5-county showcase.
Indeed.
Coach Garcia, new father. Second child. But he just had another baby.
Yes, indeed.
The baby is here this is going to be the baby's first public appearance.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you're making a public appearance, live on IE Sportsnet.
Indeed. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to have Coach Garcia. He brought in a couple of players. You ready to take a break, Eternal?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. You're listening to IE Sportsnet, connected by Boost Mobile with Coach B.
And Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here, live on Fox Sports 1350.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our 4-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her 4 Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah!
No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, 4 Season Sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for 4 Seasons. comes now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Hello, my name is Officer Richard Guerrero, Vice President of the Fontana Police Officers Association. We're more than just a labor organization. The Fontana Police Officers Association is serious about giving back to our community, particularly to our kids. We found that kids who study, do well in school, volunteer regularly, and participate in sports are less likely to become involved in criminal activity and illicit drug usage. Each year we provide thousands of dollars in scholarships to local kids, community causes, and we are proud sponsors of the Inland Valley All-Star Classic Series. The Fontana POA and strong community leadership will make way for safer and more prosperous community.
Score Sports has been a loyal partner in the sports industry for over 40 years. Founded in 1975, Score Sports has always been a family-owned and operated business located in the heart of Southern California. They offer a full line of youth and adult soccer uniforms, accessories, and field equipment, youth and adult basketball uniforms and accessories and equipment. Score Sports can outfit your coaches and league referees as well, and much more. Their dedication and attention to detail has transformed Score Sports into one of the leading sport uniform manufacturers in the United States. Visit their spacious warehouse at 726 East Anaheim Street in Wilmington, or call them today at 800-626-7774. That's 800-626-7774. Or visit them on the web at scoresports.com. That's scoresports.com, at facebook.com/scoresports, or on Twitter and Instagram with the handle Score Sports. That's SCORESPORTS.
What's up? This is Nick Young of the LA Lakers. You rocking at IE Sportsnet.
The Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Yes, indeed, we are back in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios. We're live as IE Sportsnet, connected by Boost Mobile on Fox Sports 1350. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops right here.
Yes, indeed. Coach B, I mean, let me tell you something. I got to give a big shout out to our guy, Greg Holla.
This music, man.
Who just provides the, I'm all of a sudden, you're going to see me out on Iowa doing the Thriller in a minute.
I was about to moonwalk out of here.
I'm about to be out there doing the whole Thriller routine. So check it out. We have a very special guest. We were just kind of talking off air, and this gentleman has...
Third year.
And when I tell you...
He keeps coming back.
God keeps coming back. And he brings his family. So I got to tell you something. You know what I mean? So it means something. So we appreciate that. One of the genuine good guys of coaching here in the Inland Empire, we're talking about none other than Coach Garcia of San Gorgonio High School. Coach, how you doing?
I'm good. Good morning. Thank you for having me, guys. You guys are awesome, man.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you. So, I remember, man, when I was a young pup, man, growing up, taking those trips to San Gorgonio. I mean, all the kids used to be looking at us, with the slanted eye, like, hey, y'all slitty, y'all come over here and take care of the San Bernardino stuff. So you guys always play with an edge, Coach, and we appreciate that. You've been a great coach for a while. We follow you on social media. Before we get into the basketball stuff, we got to make sure we do this because you bought the wife, and I want you to make sure you go home happy.
Right. Don't want you sleeping on the couch.
Yes, indeed. But you guys have welcomed a new addition. Obviously, congratulations to yourself and the wife. Coach, talk to us a little bit about that. I know you're excited. You're a happy man.
Man, it's a blessing. We definitely got blessed, man. After years of trying, the Lord finally gave us baby Grayson. We got baby Grayson in the house.
Baby Gray.
And so, none better than right when season starts. So we definitely added on to the responsibilities. But it has been a fun ride so far. 2 weeks old today.
Wow.
It's 2 weeks old.
All right.
But, my wife, man, she's awesome, supportive. And, hey, she's here. And, we manage it. So
you want to make a real happy name drop.
I had to.
Yes.
Sarah, thank you.
Yes, there you go.
No doubt about it. Now, Coach, we also got a chance to see you. You were at the 5-County Showcase over at A.B. Miller with the friend of our show, Coach Romanelli. And talk to us about that. Like, you guys had some. You got some freshmen coming in.
No, they added a freshman program.
Oh,
because we were talking about that at the front. Because remember last year he didn't have a freshman team.
So you've added the freshman program. You got some gentlemen here. You had a couple of players out there. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think first and most, it's very important to have a supportive administration.
Right.
Coach Maida and the principal and administration staff has been so supportive. They've seen the improvement on campus, and our kids finally buying into what we're preaching at practice every day.
Right.
And so part of that was, participating with the 5 counties. The camp was amazing. Having some of our guys go out there, participate with some of the better athlete basketball players that are in the area.
Right.
And I think I said this before. It's like that old saying, iron sharpens iron. The only way you get better and elevate your games when you're playing with better competition.
Correct.
And that competitiveness just drives you to become better. And so on top of that, we try to do all these events where we can have our boys participate from outside, not just with 10G, but outside to see where they're at and test their skills and abilities. But yeah, going back to our freshman level, that's again, it's just, AD, we've been with them and talking about it. And in order for us to get the elevator program, we have to have a freshman level.
Oh, yeah.
Got to keep some of those young guys in.
Get them fresh.
And attract some of those guys that could go to a different school because you don't have a freshman program.
Right.
So we definitely, it's a big plus for us. One of my assistant coaches took over the freshman program. Coach Bundy's going to be taking over. He was my varsity assistant.
Nice.
So he wants to kind of test out a little bit of the head coaching experience. So
I'm sure he'll like that.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So we had to add some coaches to our staff, which is expanding our program, and that's kind of what it's about.
Yes,
we gotta grow. So.
And that's always a transition. Speaking of the assistant coach to the head coach, because I've been an assistant coach, and people are upset. I say, hey, go talk to the head coach.
Yeah,
But when you're the head guy, it's like it's a huge difference. So he's going to find out pretty soon.
Yeah.
So once again, we're joined in the studio by Sanji head basketball coach Coach Garcia on IE Sportsnet, Fox Sports 1350 with Coach B and Eternal. Now, Coach, this is your 3rd year at Sanji, and this is what I always like to talk about because when it comes down to coaching, it's usually about that 3rd or 4th year that you start. It becomes your program because you do have seniors there that were coached by another coach.
Correct.
But they were freshmen. But it takes about that year. Who are some of the players on your roster? And I know you brought two of the guys with us, and we saw one of them out at the 5 counties. Who are some of the guys on your team that you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this guy out there?
Well, we've been lucky, and again, it's that turnaround with the kids buying in. We've added some addition to our skill assets of players, and but we got Mark Lang's one of our seniors. Chris Fulton was another senior. Had a breakout year, a couple games in the league as season went on. We're expecting big things. We have Kevin Brown, who's a returning senior for us. He's actually doing football right now. But he was
the San G won.
They won.
Yes.
Big shout out to Coach Ron.
Yeah, he came in talking about Arroyo.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, he was fired. I was like, Coach, my goodness.
Calm down.
Coach had me ready to go out there and suit up. I'm like, go ahead, Coach. Coach Ron that's my guy right there.
Yeah, and so Mark's our returning first team all-leaguer. He was
there
first
you
team
go.
all-league.
There you go.
Chris was honorable mention for us.
Nice.
We came close, man. We came close with a young sophomore, junior group last year. We literally, second to last game, we're at Jurupa Hills. We're up by about 2-3 points, and we lost the game in the last minute and a half.
I remember you talking to us a little bit about it.
That game cost us the third, literally second place in league.
Interesting.
And but hey, that's what it's about.
But that's the learning process.
And it is.
Right.
But for us to be at that point that soon. And with the kids, it was just amazing to watch them grow.
Exceeding expectations.
We are definitely excited about this year.
Yes.
And with the guys we got returning, we'll be senior heavy. We have a lot of seniors. But again, it's they've been putting in the work in the offseason.
Right.
They've been there. I mean, we literally got done in, February this year, and then took about a month off, and then we were back in April, in the gym, and literally we've been in the gym consistently since then. And,
nice.
And that's kind of like the fruit of our labors is this year. So we're excited.
And then one thing I want to talk about, and I looked at your schedule, and I see you guys have some preseason tournaments on the schedule. And then I want to ask you about that. And then as that experience, because sometimes it's a positive loss. We had Michelle Gardner on, and she talked about Ontario Colony. They lost league, and it kind of pushed them to really get a run going into playoffs. Are you looking for things in the tournament like preseason tournaments, like coachable moments like that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, every game's important for us. We prepare every game with the scouting report, game plan, and we go forth and try to execute it. We definitely, as the season goes on, we want to see our guys get tested, because eventually for us we want to win a league championship, and hopefully as we start progressing and getting better, we get a chance to grow, and our chemistry gets stronger, our bonds get stronger, and hopefully that takes us into playoffs. And I don't know if you've seen our division stand.
Oh man, we were just gonna talk about. You took that was gonna be my next thing. I mean, because you guys are in the
San Andreas League, which is scary because I think of the San Andreas Fault.
Right. So which it is. It's a scary situation. I mean, you guys. I mean, again, Jurupa Hills, Indian Springs, rim of the world. Like I told you, go up there, boy, you're gonna lose. Yeah, it's like a
going to Denver.
It's like a Jedi mind trick taking that trip up there because they mess you up.
Yeah. Basketball is probably better because we played a football game there, and you just see that cliff.
Yeah, you see the same cliff.
When you're in a gym in basketball,
right. You're not outside, and you can't see it. Yeah, you guys. So Rialto, Arroyo Valley. What are your thoughts about that, Coach? About these matchups and these teams you guys take on.
Well, we obviously respect every opponent that we have, and we prepare as best as we can. I'm one of those coaches that I worry about what I control, what we control. We've seen them play during the summer, and some of these other. We'll see them play during the early tournaments. But definitely Rialto will be a good matchup for us this year. Yeah, they've been the back-to-back league champs.
3 times, huh?
And they're rebuilding this year because their coach is gone.
Yeah, so they had a coaching change this summer.
Right, they're 30-0.
Yeah, they're in league.
On league,
the last 30-some. Yeah, they haven't lost in the last 3 years.
Wow.
And then Jurupa Hills. That was again for us, man. We matchups. Talk about matchups. They Coach Reps does a good job over there, and I love personally for me when I gotta come with my A game as a coach. I love that. It's competitive. It makes me my best game, and I think some of our coaches in our league does that for us. So,
indeed. Yeah. So I guess, do you want to take a break and come back and talk to the players?
Yes, I guess we should do that, and then we can bring some players in. Coach, before we go to break, name off your players again you brought with you.
So we got Mark Lang, senior. He's the center, big Mark, and then we got Chris Fulton. He's also a senior shooting guard. So.
Okay. And then I'll tell them, man, I don't play basketball anymore, so the way they're looking at me, I'm not going to lace them up. I just want you to know that we won't be lacing up this morning.
My man was already looking at you like, I might be able to just jump over you. You know what I mean? You ain't even got to do nothing.
Speaking of that, did you see that Kentucky highlight where that one kid jumped?
Let me tell you something.
Why would you jump?
In my whole basketball career, I want to be very, very clear about this because, I'm not known for much because, I jump about this high off the ground. But nobody has dunked on me. I mean, I will grab you.
Yes.
Ain't
nobody dunking on me.
We got our guy Punch here. We come from a thread where because this is before social media,
right?
So they would just talk about you for you would just. I remember guys we talked about for years. Like, oh man, I remember you can't say nothing. Anybody tell you be like, oh yeah, I'm good in basketball. Well, nah, remember when old boy caught you?
Yeah,
you was all like that and everything, and it looked like your back hurt. Not only you would just So so that's you don't want that.
So while we talk about that, let's go to commercial break. You're listening to IE Sports Net, connected by Boost Mobile with Coach B.
Andy Turtle. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here live on Fox Sports 1350.
And I never got dunked on because I never played. So.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our 4-season sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her 4 Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah! No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons Sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Hello, my name is Officer Richard Guerrero, Vice President of the Fontana Police Officers Association. We're more than just a labor organization. The Fontana Police Officers Association is serious about giving back to our community, particularly to our kids. We found that kids who study, do well in school, volunteer regularly, and participate in sports are less likely to become involved in criminal activity and illicit drug usage. Each year, we provide thousands of dollars in scholarships to local kids, community causes, and we are proud sponsors of the Inland Valley All-Star Classic Series. The Fontana POA and strong community leadership will make way for safer and more prosperous community.
Score Sports has been a loyal partner in the sports industry for over 40 years. Founded in 1975, Score Sports has always been a family-owned and operated business located in the heart of Southern California. They offer a full line of youth and adult soccer uniforms, accessories, and field equipment, youth and adult basketball uniforms and accessories and equipment. Score Sports can outfit your coaches and league referees as well, and much more. Their dedication and attention to detail has transformed Score Sports into one of the leading sport uniform manufacturers in the United States. Visit their spacious warehouse at 726 East Anaheim Street in Wilmington, or call them today at 800-626-7774. That's 800-626-7774. Or visit them on the web at scoresports.com. That's scoresports.com, at facebook.com/scoresports, or on Twitter and Instagram with the handle Score Sports. That's SCORESPORTS.
Yo, what up? This is Sendog from Cypress Hill. You're listening to me on IE Sportsnet all day long, all day strong, you heard?
Yes, we are live. It is IE Sportsnet right here in the great city of Riverside at the iHeartRadio studios. IE Sportsnet, connected by Boost Mobile on Fox Sports 1350. I am your host, Eternal.
And I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here. You know, when these gentlemen looked at the mic, you know, they got that tall man disease.
Yeah,
they're like, I got to do what with this?
They're like, he was like, I got the short guy thing over here. So we got two, again, we have Coach Garcia from San Gorgonio, San G High School, and he brought two players along with. So we have, I want to make sure.
And then his son is here too.
Exactly. Young Gray.
Yes.
Young Grayson.
Yes. Don't forget that.
Believe me, and the beautiful wife is here as well.
Oh, and your daughter's name?
Madison.
That's don't leave the daughter out.
She's probably gonna hold on. She's gonna be waiting for you right at the front door.
Exactly. I was here first, Dad.
So we have, I want to make sure I'm getting your name, Christopher Fulton. I say your last name right? Fulton County.
Pull that mic up. You got to act like you love it.
Fulton County's out there in Atlanta. I lived out there for a little bit, so I'm up on that. And then we got my man Mark Lang.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
All right.
How tall are you, Mark?
6'6", sir.
Yeah, he's 6 foot. So he don't know what the short guys go through. You know.
Well, all he knows is I dunk on those guys.
Yeah, exactly. I was like that tall, like when I was like 6. That's what he's thinking. Like he's looking at your height.
Right. Exactly. For real. So, Chris, Mr. Fulton. So well, first thing first, I want to make sure you introduce yourself and let us know what position you play.
All right. My name is Chris Fulton. I'm 17 years old. I'm a senior at San Gorgonio High School, and I'm a guard.
And you're a guard. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. So now, Coach was just talking to us a little bit about Rialto because, you know, you being a senior, you've seen them a couple of years.
Right.
What is it that they do to keep them undefeated? What do you think they're doing out there in terms of, like, playing the gameplay?
Gameplay? I say what they got that other teams don't have is they got a lot of hustle. They hustle a lot of plays. And they just naturally athletic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just understand how to play basketball. Their team chemistry's there.
Right. So that's something, obviously, you guys, I'm sure that's something you guys are working, as Coach was talking about, you guys have been working since April all the way up to now. That's something I'm sure you guys have been working on, correct?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Exactly. Now you point guard?
Are you questioning me?
He's like, have you seen the tape?
Yeah, that's a point guard right there, man.
He about to pull up the phone. You see this stuff right here?
I've had kids do that to me before.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
Here go my highlights.
Exactly. So now, tell us about, are you point guard or are you off guard?
I'm off guard.
You're off guard. So who is it now? Make sure you're talking to the mic, bro. I want to make sure the whole world can see it. Okay. We'll get my man. We'll get Mr. Lang on in just a quick second. He's tall guy. He gonna get his shine. But now who is one of if you were to say there was a somebody you model your game after, who do you think it would be?
I had to say Jordan Clarkson.
I was just about to say, because you almost kind of favor Jordan Clarkson a little bit.
Chris Duhon.
True. Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Do you know who Duhon is? He probably like,
Look, Google him.
He's like,
Google him.
He's like, I'm not 50 years old.
But
like
you
y'all.
know what the funny thing is, man? You've been loving Jordan Clarkson.
Yo, I told
since
you about
he came
this
in
dude.
the league.
I told you about this dude. This dude Clarkson is
The
nasty.
correct answer for a shooting guard, I just want you to know, would be Swaggy P. But
Right.
Not
So
that
now-
I'm a USC
Now,
fan.
I just saw a quick note here. We asked you a couple of questions. You said you grew up playing basketball. Now, you said you right here, interesting fact about you. You said you didn't dunk till you were a senior. I remember me and my high school coach had a bet. I bet him when I was a freshman that I was going to dunk. I almost broke my wrist my senior year trying to dunk.
I
but
didn't
failed.
dunk my entire career.
I mean, I hit the rim and just, So, but you dunking now.
Not like that. It take me about 3-4 tries.
Hey, well, I don't get up. I don't
Look
get
at
up
my
at
man.
all.
That's always the tall. Leave it to the tall guy right here. He's like, man, I do this all day. Man.
Right.
But at least you've gotten it through there.
Yeah.
Well, that's saying something right there, brother.
I
Now,
couldn't dunk at all, man. So I dunk donuts.
Now, real quick, I want to give my man, Mr. Mark Lang on.
Why are you laughing so hard, man? That's just, it wasn't a joke, man.
Right. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. Now, you said that you are in the BSU peer leadership program,
sir.
correct?
Yes, sir.
Talk to us a little bit about that.
All right, so BSU is Black Student Union. We're being above the stereotype. Like, we always see like a lot of black people getting in crimes and stuff. We're trying to be different from that, and we're trying to be a better person.
That's good, man. Now, in terms of when you say peer leadership, when you hear something like that, what does that mean to you? In terms of your responsibility with that?
Well, it's to talk to people in the community because like a lot of people go through bullying and antisocial stuff. So we try to talk to them and let them know that they're not alone, and we try to make them feel like they're important, just like us.
That's good because Eternal bullies me.
No, trust me, it's the other way around. This guy here, man, I tell you, he'll try to pull my mic on me and everything, man. This guy here. So now, right now, you guys are coming from San G. Obviously, you have Coach Garcia. Like, how are you thinking about this season? Like, do you have some goals in mind?
Yeah, I believe that we will go far this year. I guarantee it. Like, I want that to be the standard.
Yeah, so and you guys are the seniors, so you guys got to be the leaders, right? So I mean, that means you guys have to be the guys like, hey, almost like young Ron Artest. He'd be just this practice, you know what I mean? Just giving it to him. So that's your thing. I'm sure you have to be a leader. Is that something that Coach talked to you about?
Yeah, we always gotta maintain and be coachable, and that way, whenever someone's slacking off, we gotta catch them. Like, come on, pick it up.
Indeed. Coach B?
And one thing I like about Mark, and he said it right. He said he started playing basketball because, and I got to let Eternal know this because he's the older brother. He said he started playing basketball because of his dad and his older brother. Yeah. It's not his big brother. His older brother.
Yeah.
I'm coming from a younger brother like myself.
Brother.
So what did your dad and your older brother have to do with you getting involved in basketball?
All right, at first, I used to like be short, and then like when I started to, I used to be short.
He's like, one day I woke up short.
He was like, I was 5'10". You know?
Like one day I was 5'10". That's funny.
And then I used to see my brother and my dad play every day, and I'm like, I want to start play too. So we started doing that, and I started getting taller and bigger, and that way they started pushing me and starting to make me feel like I need to be the big man on campus now.
Right. That's
there
good.
You go. And then
good.
One thing I like is correct me if I'm wrong, Eternal. San G is in San Bernardino, correct?
That is correct, sir.
That's right.
One thing I like about Christopher, he said one of his biggest accomplishments is maintaining a 3.6 GPA.
Wow.
And being the first in your family to attend college. Now, I was the first in my family to attend college. I didn't graduate, but I can say I was the first.
He's like, he said he was on the campus. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I was there. And, I told my instructor, he said, you don't have to be here. And I said, I'm coming back. He's still waiting for me 20 years later. But you're a triple jump champion.
Yes, sir.
Explain the triple jump to me. I mean, it's like, it looks like you're just skipping and hopping, but you take 3 jumps to then jump.
Yeah, yes, sir. You have basically you either jump left, right, or right, left.
So there's a rhythm to it.
There's a rhythm to it. Yeah.
See, Eternal's a track guy.
Yeah,
he knows about that.
No, I know that I don't know about it, especially in long jump. When those dudes are doing that long jump stuff, I just turn my head, boy, because me and jumping was like,
Right. So how was that? What do you enjoy? And you remember your coach is here. So what's more exciting to just get a super long triple jump or to hit a game-winning 3?
He was
he has to think about it. Remember, your coach is here. Remember that.
Well, no, and you got your audience listening, too.
Right,
you got your folks at the Dino.
Right. I'll probably have to say hitting the game-winning 3.
Yeah.
You know, just to experience it and have your team jumping on you and the crowd going crazy. Yeah, I say
I don't know what that feels like because I didn't
Right.
any time.
So now I want to ask you guys something real quick because we're gonna get ready to wrap up here. Now tell us something about your coach. I mean, how is it playing?
Remember,
for Coach
he's
Garcia?
here. He's here. Remember that.
How is it playing for Coach Garcia? I mean, we've known this guy for 3 years, very dedicated man. But I mean, from a player's perspective, how is it working working under a guy like that?
Well, working under a guy like Coach Garcia, man, I love Coach Garcia. I got a lot of love for him. You know, like I said before, he tried to make us better players, but not only that, he tried to make us better people.
There you go.
You know, he disciplines us and holds us accountable for everything that we do and just tries to make us better people.
How about that, Mark?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Chris because Coach, he pushes us hard. Sometimes we might be like, man, I ain't gonna lie, he sucks, but we know that he's here for us and he got us back, and he always says like he'll take a bullet for us. And
right.
That I respect for Coach Garcia.
I like that,
man.
And we're joined in the studio again by saying Gorgonio High School head coach, Coach Garcia on IE Sports Net on Fox Sports 1350.
Our guy.
And you know, Coach, what we have you here. One thing I do want to talk about, you know, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't ask you, who are some of the players? We talked a lot about Rialto and whatnot, and you have 2 teams in the league that are in San Bernardino. You have Indian Springs and Arroyo Valley. Who are some of the players? You've been here 3 years now. That you're like, oh my goodness, how are we going to match up with this guy? How are we going to match up with that guy?
The one that sits for me is Harupa Hills. They got a sharpshooter, Soto. Soto's a good shooter, and we literally shut him down for quite a bit of the game last year. In that game that kind of propelled us out of the playoffs, but we can't wait to match up to him again this year. We got a good plan set up for him, and that's for me. It's kind of one of those where I want if I take it back, I go back to that point and make simple adjustments.
Strategy.
Get that. But and then Rialto had a few players. Now I want to say because of the coaching change, some of them might have left.
Right. Okay.
And then there's one kid that will be back. Darian. He's big, about 6'4", athletic kid. Very well around the basket, shoots the ball well. And so he's another one that we'll be able to see, and we're excited to see him, man. I'm telling you, it's how much work these guys have been putting in. Our guys have been putting in, and our coaches. We want to see the fruits of the labor, man. So
I heard that,
we're excited.
And, you know, Eternal, I could have asked one more question.
Please.
Now, you know, I'm excited because I got a FedEx package yesterday. My Lakers membership return. It was lost for 20 years. There was a guy there. What was his number? What was the number?
Greg,
was it 8 or 24?
Turn the music off.
I don't remember, but it was either 8 or 24, and I kind of, you know, I'm a Laker fan. You know, that guy. Like I was saying. This is what now the football week. It's still football season, but I'm glad you're the first basketball coach of the season. What about those Lakers, man? I mean, are they playing ball or what? And now that they don't have this guy, what was his?
He's trying to say the Kobe-less Lakers.
Oh yes, that was his name, Kobe Bryant. That's his name.
I'm almost ashamed for him, but Coach, you're an aficionado. Let him. I mean, you know.
I'm big on the team chemistry part, man, of the basketball.
Moving the ball,
man, they look
passing
good,
the ball,
but they're young. They'll make mistakes. They'll take some bad shots. But that comes with the young team. It's growing pains.
Right.
But definitely, they're moving the ball well. All of them can do anything on a random night.
I know.
You don't have, I mean, I love Kobe. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think when you don't have the one super all-star, the guys they got to step every
Everybody
game.
has to get in.
Everybody's got to chip in.
You hear that, Eternal?
So.
See, the Lakers can pass.
But
put the Swaggy P drop on real quick, man.
From USC?
Right, that guy.
But it's exciting, man. It brings back some good ball playing around in Southern California. I'm happy the Clippers are doing their thing, but
who?
They thought
it's just past the first. I think they just got their rent check in right now because they got to pay that rent. That rent got to be on time at the Staples Center.
They had a team. I don't know if they'll get it again, man.
Did they have their selfies up?
Right, I know.
Well, I always make fun of them. It's when the LA Sparks have more banners than they do.
Exactly. And then I love it when you go to their games, they have their selfies up.
That's all they can put up.
That's hilarious.
I have some friends that are Clipper fans, and I texted them. Oh, they get upset.
Oh man, that's good. That's a good
the
man
truth
right
hurts,
there.
Man. Yes.
That golden purple.
It's exciting though. It's exciting to watch a young Laker team, man. So and then Coach Luke, man, Luke, he's gonna do his thing with them, man. Young guy, young coach, can really get to the players,
right?
And knows he's been a good experience. I mean, as a player, as a coach, so he has a lot.
And you see that a lot with your scenario here, whereas you don't have a big gap with your players at all, where I'm sure you can identify with a lot of stuff that their challenges they're going through as well.
Oh, definitely, and just to kind of hit on that, that's why I hire younger coaches per se, alumni guys that are in the area that understand, being growing up going to the same classrooms, in the gym,
walking
the same hallways.
to and from home.
And that's that experience where we try to find an edge to get to these guys and really connect with them and understand that we do care for them, and we're trying to provide everything possible to give them a chance to be successful. It may not be basketball, but just in life in general.
One thing I want to say, I'll ask you, Coach, do you lace them up? Because they said one thing that the players liked is they said that Luke Walton got on the court and the players even Randall couldn't score until about 2 or 3 possessions on a 1-on-1. You have to show these young men.
They asked for it, but I don't want to be that disrespectful.
Ready, huh? He's like, well, first thing first, let me tell you something. I tell guys all the time, I don't play fair. So you know what I mean, like and Coach, when you just go to Park and Rec, it was like, hey, watch yourself. You know what I mean, elbows and
I got 5 fouls, so I'll use all of them.
right. And in the pickup game, you don't have 5. You get 1.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't get dunked on. I'm grabbing. You know what I mean? So But Coach, again, man, I tell you what, man. That's what we're talking about.
No, well, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having us, and we'll have to bring you out to a game, man.
Please,
and come
yes,
do it
indeed.
for us, man. But no, we appreciate it. Like I said, this is a blessing to be out doing what we're doing, and we try to touch our kids' lives and really, really set them up for life. And if it all works out, and the bonus is they might get to play after high school. And that's what we're looking for.
No, I didn't get to play in high school, but that's okay.
Now, I want to make sure the gentlemen, see if you guys want to give any shout-outs to any family or anything that might be listening.
I want to give a shout out to my mom. I love you. She wanted me to do this, so now I'm happy. And my dad,
don't forget Dad, man. They always forget Dad.
He's like, hey, Mom, Dad be sitting there like, he pull out the wallet. Hey, y'all see that?
He probably listening, so I love you, Pops. So yeah, go ahead, Chris.
No doubt.
I also want to give a shout out to my parents. I love y'all. I appreciate everything y'all do for me, man.
What's up?
I want to give a shout out to my little bro as well. Love you too.
All right, no doubt. That's what's going on, man.
And then, Coach, do me a favor, because I mess up my own name. The correct name of your players you brought in again?
It's Mark Lang and Christopher Fulton.
And then don't forget the name off the family, the wife and the kids.
So my wife is Coach Mom. That's what
there you go. There you go.
She does my score. She does my scorebook every game. So she's my statistician. And so she's my number 1 supporter, man.
There you go.
She came with you that one time, man, and she was on it. I mean, I remember the first time we met you, she had the wife there. She was like, hey, whoa. You know what I mean? So
hands on, and I love her. It's my best friend, and super supportive. And it just goes on to say, there's days that I'm dragging or tired or something's bothering me, and she finds a way to help out as possible, just because she knows how much I love this and my passion. And so I'm grateful. I'm thankful, and gave my handsome son over there.
There
Grayson,
it is, man.
And of course, being a great mother to our children is amazing.
And don't forget the daughter.
So Maddie.
There you go.
Can't forget the daughter. Ball now too. So
okay, there you go.
She got the ponytail going. She ready to go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I can speak from experience, Coach, because I remember when I was coaching, my wife Brandy. You got to have that team mom.
Got to have
it. And it's just, and even Eternal said this when we had our banquets. She went over there and jumped in, and we were giving food to the kids, and she just jumped right in.
Got on in there.
She's like the IE Sports Net mom.
Yeah,
so
indeed.
That's what she does for us. She actually we do sack lunch for away games.
Okay.
So we do the lunches at our house. So she's just
great,
a big
man.
role.
It takes a special woman to be a coach's wife.
Very unique. Yeah, and I'm grateful, and I thank God every day.
Yes, indeed.
We found each other, and we're willing to work together. And it's love, man. It's
there you
love,
go.
True love. So
no doubt about it.
Thank you.
There you go. I know for someone to love me, it's sometimes I question them.
Yeah, I was telling my girl, I was sitting there,
what is your problem?
I was like, I'm not that big of a deal, am I? You know what I mean? But man, I'm a lot to handle, so she handles it good.
Indeed,
yes,
indeed.
No doubt about it. So yeah, man, we want to thank you guys. Big shout out to San Gorgonio High School basketball team came out here, man, all the way from the great city of San Bernardino. Third year
and
straight.
We see it building. We see the progress.
Oh, yeah, that's good. And that's what I like to see. I mean, and again, one thing you always know, Coach, the coaches will get here and say what they want. But that's why we like to bring the players, because that's what it's all about. How does that message resonate with the players? And these guys have responded well Very nice group of young men right here. You guys keep your head up, and we're right here for you guys, okay?
We'll make it happen.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. San Gorgonio High School. We guarantee the league title. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, say, look at you, might have put a pressure on it.
Knock on wood, man.
Right. Let's get it. But we want to also give a shout out to our girl Michelle Gardner and all the great football teams, the Inland Empire football team that got down last night. I mean, it's too many for us to name.
We had some more scores. If you want to get them, go to iesportsnet.com. We can run through some. I know Heritage. They talked the talk. They won last night.
Yes,
Redlands East Valley won. Norco defeated Citrus Hill. Marietta Valley won.
And then I want to give a big shout out to Etiwanda High School for taking that home last night. And also Rancho Verde got that big win against Oak Hills last night as well.
And then Downey beat Damien, Downey Vikings. Not that I'm a Viking.
Turn the mic off.
So big shout out to my Downey Vikings.
Turn the mic off.
Yes. So let's go ahead and get up out of here, man. We thank you guys so much for listening to iSportsNet. Oh, tonight before we do that, we'll be on air.
We'll be live for RCC.
Yes.
Game of the week. Game of the week.
So thank you for listening to iSportsNet, connected by Boost Mobile with Coach B.
Andy Turner. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, you know the conversation starts and stops here. Live on Fox Sports 1350. Turn this mother out.
RCC tonight on Fox 1350.
Hey, let me tell you, that's
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
You are tuned into the new home for IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. with Coach B.
Andy Turner. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio 1350 a.m. IE Sportsnet every Saturday morning, 8 a.m.